Education helps to develop one's character by providing him or her with the perfect knowledge. Why school education plays a vital role in all-round development of a child. To discuss this, we have Dr. Megan Banerjee with us on Expert Talk today. She is a highly qualified school leader and educator with more than 10 years of experience in leading diverse, multilingual, international school communities using progressive education. She has acquired a doctorate degree of education and many certificates like 𝗙𝗶𝗶 Principal, Ontario Certified Teacher, IB Certificate in Teaching and Learning, and many more. She has vast experience as an educator and as a leader in various parts of the world, including China and US. Welcome, Ms. Megan. What do you feel is the most exciting and interactive or effective learning environment for children in classroom?
This is a really great question. And it's something that I'm still figuring out myself. Right now, where I stand in my career is that I feel that an engaging environment is different for every student. I'm an elementary school teacher, and I've taught kindergarteners and I've taught grade 6 students, and their needs are very different. So, but to give you just a little bit of my background, I actually did my teacher training in an IB school, or an international baccalaureate school. And I was really wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and to be frank, really idealistic in the belief that all schools would operate in this way. And I was wrong. There are a lot of different kind of teaching styles out there. And, but for me, I really lean towards kind of a hands-on, interactive environment where learning is meaningful for students. And so actually, I love this question because my doctoral studies has I really wanted to pursue a personalized, competency-based education in my doctoral research.
So my next question to you is, do you think standardized testing is the most effective way to judge learning?
This is also a very interesting topic. I think the short here.
I somehow disagree to that, because when I'm in my classroom and I find children and then they want to express in different ways, so it's very hard for me to, test them in one particular way.
So I think standardized testing may have its place. I mean, right now it's hard to find a really efficient way and an accurate way to kind of compare students across data, and it's difficult. Because when you think about a university, there's only so many seats, and you need to be able to find out how to get as many people as you can educated. But I also think of standardized testing kind of like looking for a new job. If you are seeking out a job that you would, like to move into, you don't look into just their website and say, oh, I like this school and it's the best school ever because they have the best website. And instead you kind of, if you really want this job as something you know that's the perfect fit for you, you want to stay with it, you ask around in the community what they think of it. Maybe the parents have a very different perspective, or you might go and look at staff who have left or staff who are there. And then you might even look through forums and blogs to see, what major complaints or excitement that is going on. And then once you look at all these different kind of proof points or kind of evidence to see if that position is right for you, you take the job. And I think ideally for every student, it would be the same. Okay.
So, Megan, what is the role of a teacher on students in a session of approximately 40 minutes? What impact does it leave on children?
Sure. I think 40 minutes can have a really positive impact on students and the productivity and learning, and setting an environment for students to learn. I think, back when I was in Teachers College, we had 5 minutes where we're getting the kids really excited about what we're learning, kind of reflecting on what we had learned. And then there's maybe 10 minutes. I'm not sure if that math will add up here, but maybe 10 minutes where you are introducing the concept and teaching, and then you give maybe 15 to 20 minutes where the students get to learn and interact with what you've taught them. And then at the end, there is this chance for kind of reflection and kind of closing and giving them something to look forward to for the next day. Teachers set the instruction and guidance for students. They facilitate learning activities, and they also support students through individualized discussion and coaching, assessment, reflection, and feedback. They're also there. Teachers do quite a lot in 40 minutes, don't they? They also help manage and encourage the students and motivate them to want to learn and to find meaning in that learning. I would say, though, that while the 40-minute period is really great, there are times flexible scheduling can really help teachers kind of grow and to learn. So as I get more deeply into personalized learning for students, I find that even myself with my teaching team, students, you might need some more time on a particular given task or subject, where you might even have disciplines or subjects kind of integrated together. And so when you do, being flexible with your scheduling and finding ways to go deeper in that knowledge can help students, because I feel that with knowledge being so accessible, you have the better opportunity to go more in depth on a topic. And so I think that for a 40-minute lesson, you can do a lot with, but also finding ways to be flexible, creating longer lessons can be beneficial and sometimes. So
yeah, that's correct. And what I feel, correct me if I'm wrong. So impact, according to me, is like the moment we enter in the classroom, right from the beginning till the end, how you talk, how you walk, how you interact with them, how you deliver your session. Apart from your content delivery, your personality leaves a lot of impact on the students. So this is what I strongly believe in. So, sometimes how do we speak? Maybe we have got very good content to deliver, but if we are not reaching to the level of the child, or maybe the child is in some another mood, or has got some issues, so then our entire planning, entire lesson, it goes haywire, right?
I agree with you completely. I would say that, a lot of people will say that they believe in relationships, but I think relationships are really important, but it's also understanding where the student is performing and where they come to you from, because they could be dealing with so many other things that day. I completely agree with you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, would you like to share any of your experience or a memorable moment during your own education?
Sure. My career has actually mostly been in China. I was teaching in Shanghai for the longest time, and then I was recently in Beijing up until I got into my doctoral program. And this fall, I'm heading back. And I would say that one of the most memorable experiences that I have, I was teaching first grade, and there was a little boy who it was hard to catch, but he would go in and find other people's pencils and erasers, and he would take them home with him. And so one day I got a call from his mom, and she was really upset. She was worried that why the boy's behavior was this way, and how will he be like this when he grows up? And we discussed through it a lot, and I had asked the parent, why don't we, speak with the student, see if it stops, and then if it doesn't, we can have some maybe more serious kind of intervention. Well, the next day, the parent had come in, and the boy, you could tell, had been crying all night. And the mother had said, she apologized to the class. The boy apologized to the class and told him what he had been doing with all of their things. And so he had gotten his allowance money that he had been saving from home. and bought all the students in class pencils and erasers and handed them out to everybody. Now, for him, it was a really big moment, but also for me, because it's pretty incredible to have. It's good to have an incredible school, but it's for a student to come from a family who really cares about your well-being and to really care about who you're going to be when you're older really kind of sets you up for success. I mean, being successful in adult life, there's so many factors that kind of go into it, but it was really incredible to have a parent that was willing to make sure to drive the point home with a student, because a lot of people may have ignored it or something like that. So, I mean, for me, it just shows that families create the foundation for character in students. And when you work in partnership with them, students can really flourish. So I guess the ending of the story is he never stole again.
He would, but I'm sure that he was happily doing it.
Yeah.
Like my mother had told me not to do this, so I'm not going to do this again. But I hope that remains with the child, throughout his life. Okay, Megan. So let's bring this session to an end with your thoughts on how the next 100 years of education, according to you, would be.
It's a meaty question.
I was kind of decreasing the number, so I was thinking of putting it 50 or 100. So my son suggested me to give 100 years because he's quite young.
Well, I was thinking quite a lot about this because 100 years, I mean, in the past 100 years here, things have really changed. I mean, to think 100 years ago, we weren't flying yet as, a human civilization. And now we are taking commercial flights to space. I mean, things have come so far. And so I really appreciate your push and your son's push on
okay, let me make it 2 decades for you.
Well, okay, so I think I can answer both.
Yeah.
For now, I think that schools are going to become more personalized, and there is going to be a real shift in how we perceive content to be taught, because we have a technology like ChatGPT, among other AI, where information is readily available. I mean, even Google, you can Google search quite a lot. So how are we interacting with curriculum? I think will be changing, and then how we teach that to students, I think it will change significantly. I mean, I think there'll be a slow and steady change to how we approach this. But eventually it will be significant. But our teaching and learning practices, even assessment practices, I think will change in the long term, maybe 100 years from now. I mean, okay, I had one idea to bring to you, is that it may not be a popular one, but I mean, we could technically even have a chip with all the information loaded onto it that's kind of implanted into us. So we really have to understand, how we will interpret and use the information and make decisions that are best for us. And so, I mean, school could completely change from learning knowledge, but more on how to, use that knowledge. And so I think that, 100 years from now, things could look very different. I don't know, will we have flying cars? But I think it will certainly look different. So what do you think? What are your guesses?
I think, I'm not inclined much towards AI or this, though I appreciate it. We are connecting through, Zoom only. But then still somehow I feel like that human to human connect is way too important, because end of the day, we all are making these things, right? That connect should be there, that feel should be there. It's a lot about aura, how we connect with each other. So the delivery of education should be without a chip or without any technical technology. It should be directly from mind and heart. So that it reaches to person to person. But I wanted to ask you, you were talking about your Beijing experience. What is the ratio of student and teacher in one classroom?
I would say in the elementary